Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Salem by Night. I am the Ravenous Archon. I will be your storyteller this evening. You can call me Will. Last we left off with our Anarch group. We opened up with a little bit of a claustrophobic Erickson as he was in the he was in the trunk of a car. He crawled his way out, managed to sneak up onto the trunk of the car itself and surprise not just August and Michelle, but also Shepard. He was quickly pointed out 3 fires that had taken place in the city, one of them being the Last Call Bar, one of them being the Lucky Dime Diner, and then finding out that the third one was a restaurant that was owned by Wesley Ian Garter. August mentioned having stuck around to see 3 SWAT vans pull up, but he also mentioned that he didn't see any police markings as far as the Salem City Police Department is concerned, or the Salem City Sheriff Department. That Erickson made his way over to a visitor center in the park where they had kind of made up and found refuge for the evening, called Mickey Blue Eyes. He found out that Mickey had tried to reach out to him because he had found information not just on the Vagabond Bar, but also on the Albatross Bar as well. And then he was asked to check in on the SWAT team movements of the city, and that money was not an issue, and he didn't care how low and how dirty he had to get information. Andreas woke up while this was happening and was told that they're in West Salem. He hasn't heard anything about the Inquisition, but he could piece together that whoever did this had to have been a well-funded group, because they already had not only small ordnance with them, but they had cover stories for 2 of the assaults already. After that, Erickson made his way back. They had a chat about what happened, and Michelle was taken off with August, while Shepard kind of followed along with Andreas and Erickson as they made their way back to the bar to kind of figure out what happened on their own. Outside, they split up because Andreas does have that little neat gift to become invisible. And so he went inside while the fire department was cleaning up. And Erickson went around behind the bar and came across 3 familiar cats, 2 adult cats and 1 kitten. Then had a conversation with their owners, Teddy, who he hadn't seen in a while. Andreas kind of figured the situation inside was a controlled fire. He could see telltale signs of what is a flamethrower use. You can see that some of the liquor bottles were taken, probably as trophies. He saw that they tried to get into the safe in the office to no success, and that the desk itself had been kind of knocked over. Erickson had a conversation with Teddy where he learned that Teddy had been feeding off of police officers, and that the 18 or so people that came into the bar earlier did not smell of police. Compared the description, he compared the descriptions of the men with the same people that kind of attacked the Elysium, and Teddy kind of agreed that they looked the same. But he also let on that there was somebody leading them, a ginger-haired gentleman with an accent from across the pond that made Teddy feel uneasy whenever he looked at him. They met back up inside. They went into the safety room where they saw that they hadn't got in, and the paperwork that Erickson had been looking at the previous nights about Frankie Crow and his crew having come to Salem were still intact, and that safe had also not been touched. They ran into Leslie Thatcher as she kind of walked back into the bar, noticed the state of it, and had a conversation where she revealed that the sheriff is now in Hayesville. There was a long moment for her where she tried to figure out if she was even supposed to have been privy to this information. But she also revealed that Mustang and Melvin were the ones that warned them about the assault on the last call. There was a weird moment with her towards the end of the conversation, and then she made her way out after telling them that they can meet Tulip at the Albatross, since that is considered a safe spot currently. When they went outside, they could see her down the block in her car, her head tilted back, her hands on the steering wheel, and so they left Shepard in charge of following her, while the two of them went off to try and cure the hunger that has been lingering inside Erickson. And although I would love to see you two hunt as a pack, I think we're going to skip forward a couple of hours. I'll be generous enough, since the two of you are kind of checking each other, to say that both of you can get to hunger 1 if you want to. Since with somebody there to hold you accountable, I don't think either of you would kill somebody tonight.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's never my intention in the first place for that, so.
Yeah. It is still Saturday, October 27th, although we are creeping up on midnight, so we'll say it's about to become Sunday. We see you pulling up to the Albatross Bar. There's a few people outside. There's a couple of tall, circular kind of high tops set aside, some stools. You do see that Tulip is talking to a particular gentleman who is not sitting at his seat, but has his kind of hands resting on the small back of it. He's got a cigarette lit in one hand. And it sounds like there is a rowdy crowd inside, and you can hear what sounds like live music coming from the spot. How far away do you guys want to park?
We're in the. I would say that I would want to do it in a spot where we can see the vehicle, but it's not in direct line of sight. I think would probably be the best. So not directly across the street from the Albatross, but if we would get out of the main entrance, we should be able to see it at some point in our field of vision.
Okay, it's not too difficult to park across the street.
Yeah.
The parking in front of the Albatross is tight, but there are some spots that you can park in front of the street, across the street, especially with just kind of the motorcycle that Andreas is in. You can just fit anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And even that, I want to keep that one relatively out of the way, because whenever shit goes off, if we have to run out of here, I can always misdirect and then just come back to my bike. But if I park it right next to the bar, that might be a bad idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes it too easy for someone else to watch.
Yeah. Excuse me. As you walk up to the bar, you see that there's a bunch of posters of different colored paper. It looks to have an anthropomorphic piece of bacon with a sleeveless leather jacket, spikes, chains. One hand is holding a beer bottle. The other hand is flicking off the camera, and it says "Playing live tonight. Bacon and attitude."
Bacon and attitude?
Yeah. B&A.
Okay.
DNA sounds fattening.
Yes.
So it's like all former police officers out of the local area.
That would be fantastic, but no.
I'm just saying biker humor.
Yeah, yeah. The Albatross itself is off of Trade Street and Church Street, so it's right as the kind of exit ramp turns into the regular street from the main kind of thoroughfare that goes north to south. The few patrons that are outside are all drinking and smoking. Tulip is not smoking. She does have what looks to be an old-fashioned in front of her. The gentleman that she's talking to does have a beer, and as you walk up, you see that he's lighting another cigarette. Tulip. Yep, it looks like it. He's pinkish.
Okay.
And he does take a big swig of the beer.
Okay.
But Tulip stands up.
And sees us immediately, obviously.
Yeah.
We're kind of hard to miss. Does it look like any of the free souls are in the area? Just bikes or
No,
anything parked
not at
by?
all.
Okay. Okay, just checking.
Well, I want to jauntingly go up to Tulip
Mhm.
with a smile on my face.
Yeah. She nods, and then she kind of turns to the gentleman. Marcus, this is Erickson Wood, and that's Andreas Barker?
Parker.
Okay, I did remember correctly. Excellent. This is Marcus Bradley, and he kind of takes a big drag, blows it up and out of the way, and he kind of extends his hand out.
I take his hand, but and based off from what we can tell, we can see signs, we can see breath of life type of thing, pinkish
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
face.
yeah. He's warm to the
So
touch.
yeah, so I go ahead and I give him just a firm enough handshake as if I was still human.
Yeah.
So say, pleasure to meet you, Marcus. Yeah, it's a lively crowd today.
Yeah, yeah. Let one of the local bands, one of the local boys came in and asked me if I could host this band. And quoted him a price. He was all right with it, so they came in. I personally am not a fan of this music, but to each their own.
Kind of sound they play.
I mean, to me, it sounds like they're torturing a cat, but I'm also fond of country music, so
Mm-hmm.
I know.
And that's what it's to me sounds like torturing a cat. At least when you bring in the fiddle.
Yeah, and he nods. Right, I think the fiddle's overused.
And,
And I look over at Tulip. I go, Tulip, how's everything going here tonight?
She looks around. She's like, so far it's been safe here. Because of Marcus's standing in the tower, I don't think that this is going to be a spot that's going to get attacked. And you see him kind of do the sign of the cross. And he's like, holds up his hand with the cigarette in it, like a half kind of prayer symbol, like him. And he's just like,
using it as a sensor.
Yeah, from your lips to God's ears, Tulip. And he kind of laughs at that. But she nods at him, kind of gives him a curt smile, like, trying to placate him.
Yeah, well, fortunately, we don't have a long history of buildings being destroyed in our wake, so I think you should be fine.
He smiles as he looks at you. He's like, and he leans in. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, it helps that I'm not Tremere either. So I've heard about your reputation, Mr. Barker."
I was just playing with matches.
So you guys obviously heard about what happened recently over there at the last call.
He nods and she nods.
You guys have no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's like, Melvin reached out to me. After they went to the diner to talk to the sheriff, and they saw that the SWAT team was still there. They overheard them talking about how they were looking to use their weapons on some of our kind, and they were really excited about getting to the last call. So if it wasn't for Melvin and Mustang, I think they would have definitely have found you in a bad situation, Mr. Wood.
I think about it, and I'm just like, I'm glad to have friends like that. Happy to hear that I'm happy to let them know that I'm all in one piece. Same with Andreas.
Yeah, I'll pass the message along then. And Marcus kind of looks over. He's like, I already wanted to talk to each other, so I kind of I cleaned up the back room a little bit. If you want to use it, you're free to use it. Otherwise, the street is fairly free of foot traffic at this time. I'm
No,
sure.
I appreciate it, Marcus. I appreciate it, Marcus. You're a saint. I think we will use the back.
Sure. There's folding chairs in there, and you will hear some of the sound as it's not soundproofed. I never got the quote from Samantha about who she used for her room. And he kind of looks over. He's like, which reminds me, I was meaning to make time to come out there to the bar and kind of pick your brain, Mr. Wood, about what you do and how we can try not to step on each other's toes, because I like to bring in some things into the city that the tower doesn't smile upon, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, if you want to pick through the ruins, you could have the old safe room if it's left of it. Just kidding.
I glare over at Andreas.
Of course, I don't own the fucking place.
Yeah. Trust me when I say is that most of the stuff that I think what you're trying to bring in, half of what we do is trying to take people out. So I think we'll be okay working together if we need to. Yeah, but I think we'll be happy to go ahead and use that back room.
Sure. Let me take you out there. And he leads you through some of the crowd. It's maybe young, like 18, 19, 17-year-olds, all the way to like 26, 27-year-olds mostly. There's a couple old timers. It sounds like straight up British anarchy kind of what's it called?
Like Sex Pistols.
Yeah, like that. I forget the genre of that music.
That'd be called punk, gentlemen.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
I was
We're
like,
there.
I know it's not pop, and
Dude.
I know it's not rock. What the fuck is it?
Tonight you will be visited by Joey Ramone, Sid Vicious,
No,
and whoever the fuck else. Oh, and Gigi Allen, because he's gonna shit on you.
yeah,
He'll literally shit on you.
Yeah,
I'm fully expecting to get my lesson in what I should have been listening to.
that's okay.
And it's funny because you're the one that introduced me to punk.
Yes, indeed.
So, but yeah, it is a big punk band playing. The vibe is just highly energetic. Everybody's just kind of bouncing around, bouncing into each other.
Rando question while I'm strolling through here, just because with the wild and crazy group, any symbols I recognize, not necessarily of anything supernatural, but any groups or anything. Something from World War II, something sticking on somebody's jacket, random shit.
A couple of people have some jackets that have symbols that they definitely wouldn't have known about unless they studied history. There's one guy whose sleeve ends right where an SS emblem begins.
Okay. Yeah, that stuff.
Marcus, for the most part, even though he's lanky, because he's like just north of 6 foot. He's like 6'2", 6'3" almost. He's lanky with this tousled brown hair and this kind of eternal 5 o'clock shadow. He manages to push people aside relatively easily. And he always does it with like a smile on his face, and he just kind of points at the fact that he's leading people, and everybody could just kind of like nods and gives him the space. Very charismatic. But he does lead you out back, and down the hall you can see that there is a unisex bathroom.
Oh, real quick before we go down in, I know that I wanted to be able to just scan the room. Obviously, this is a lively crowd, so I'm wanting to see anybody that's out of place. And what I mean by out of place is nobody that's joining in on what's going on and is more focused on something else besides the actual music.
There really isn't anyone like that in the bar.
Okay.
Like everybody's here for either the punk show or like there is what looks to be somebody's dad in the band who is working the merch table. and just kind of like
Oh.
trying to hawk the bacon and attitude shirts.
Nice.
As we're passing by, I try to catch an eye with the dad figure, and I'll be like, hold one for me, thank you.
And he immediately smiles and he kind of nods. And you see him start to like set aside the different colored shirts.
How many different color shirts does Bacon and Attitude have?
They have,
Yeah, but he doesn't know which one you're gonna want.
Yeah,
so
they have.
That's true.
They have 3, bro.
Yeah.
Red, green, and blue.
Oh, okay.
RGB.
Oh, obviously, I'm gonna go for red.
Yeah.
But yes, continue, sir.
The hallway ends at the unisex bathroom, but sitting across from each other are 2 doors. One that has office and one that has storage. He opens the one that says storage, and you can see a couple of kegs against the far wall, a bookshelf, or an iron shelf, metal shelf of just other kind of different liquor bottles, different liqueurs, different kinds of stuff that you would have just waiting to be used in a bar. And then there's maybe 4 folding chairs. But it does look like everything's kind of been moved to against one of the walls. And he's like, you can use this room. I'll stand out here and make sure nobody bothers you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. No problem. You go inside and immediately Tulip grabs one of the chairs, opens it, and sits down.
Yeah. I grab the chair.
Yep.
I toss one over to Andres, and I go ahead and I grab one for myself, and I sit down and I go, all right. So, yeah, this is a clusterfuck.
She nods. Yeah, the sheriff is trying to figure out how this happened. And I'm gonna preface this by saying that he doesn't blame you for this if this was your fault. But he thinks that they might have been tapping the phones, and when you called looking for him specifically by name at the diner, that might have tripped some alarms. But as of right now, he's asked everybody to go quiet, to go dark. Any messages need to be sent the old-fashioned way, so either through myself or Leslie, or through your clan whip. No phone usage, and if there is to be any phone usage, to make sure that there's no use of verbiage that would tip people off to who we are and what we're doing. Also, have you heard from Samantha recently?
Sam?
Ashling and him have tried to reach out to her since you are the 4 Bruja in the city. And right now it seems like you're the only one that they've been able to make contact with.
Well, last time I spoke with Sam was shortly after she handed over the bar to me. So, no, I can't say I have for a little while. When was the last time you guys heard from her?
At the Elysium, around the same time. She looks at Andreas and she's like, I don't know which clan you are, so I don't know who your whip would be.
Not represented here.
It takes her a moment, then she kind of like, she dawns on her and she's like, oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah, no problem. So any communications I'll probably do through the Bruja or through Erickson, just by association.
Okay.
Speaking of
Ashling
Bruja, yeah.
Also, well, I mean, obviously, this is for you specifically. You know, obviously, gesturing to the colors on the back of my jacket. Any message delivered to anybody wearing this will guarantee to get to me.
And you see, she takes out a little notepad and she kind of writes down that information. Okay, I'll make sure that Leslie knows as well.
Yeah. There's enough of us in the city that it should be fairly easy to find them. Just look for noise and alcohol.
And you see her write down noise and alcohol.
As far as anybody that's reached out to you or to the sheriff, have you heard anything as far as these, this militia? It's the only way I can call them, in SWAT that arrived in these locations? Because obviously this is a planned hit. Was there any information given by anybody?
We think that there's something. It has something to do with the Asian group that moved in. Because things were relatively quiet before they came to the city.
Asian group.
The ones
The
that
ones that bought the theater.
yeah, they bought the theater.
Right.
But they might know more. But they're also very tight-lipped because they don't talk to outsiders. We haven't seen anyone coming in and out of the theater that would match the description of these people. But it's also gotten to us that somebody killed Elizabeth Guernsey recently.
And then a smile creeps on my face.
So we don't know. We don't know if this might be retaliation for that. That would mean that Grant Reynolds has access to big boys.
It wasn't Elizabeth Guernsey with Grant Reynolds?
Yeah.
So he's saying this is retaliation for that.
If it is, that means he's well connected. He's much more connected than we imagined him to be. But then we also have to find out who killed Elizabeth Guernsey then.
I mean, I would love to shake the hand of whoever did that. and then I would want to crush their hand because they beat me to it.
I was gonna say, I want to shake her hand and rip it the fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely were trying to figure out how to deal with them, but killing them outright, if it's going to bring this kind of level of retaliation, might need to be rethought.
Yeah. Okay. So the only spot that you've seen this group has been in the theater. You haven't seen them outside. No reports of them.
They haven't really been anywhere else. I think they started looking at places in South Salem, particularly in like the South Central neighborhood and the Southeast Salem neighborhood. They were over by Walker Park not too long ago.
Were they ever seen around the antique shop over there in South Salem?
Not that I know of. I know that they've been visible over by WU, by the Willamette University. But that also could be because the state capitol is across the street from there. It's not too far from here. A couple blocks down.
Okay. You mind if I ask? As far as people that have been going in and out of the theater, there's no kind of our kind that's been going in and out of there of notice?
Kindred, no. The only ones that seem to be allowed to kind of go in without prior warning has been Ashling, the sheriff, and a couple of the other Primogen.
Okay.
But Hyde, Prince Hyde hasn't even dignified that theater with his presence.
Okay.
Good name for an absentee prince.
So with all of this information, the sheriff is saying that for us to lay low and not do anything.
For at least the next couple of weeks, yeah.
Why only the next couple of weeks? What's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks?
Everybody's insurance renews, and we can just set shit on fire again.
Well, the big thing is that next week is the full moon, and he doesn't want anyone doing anything stupid during that time period because we still don't know how the werewolves are going to react to having lost their liaison with us.
How'd they lose their liaison with you?
That's a story that Manny can tell you.
Manny Garza?
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one that helped broker whatever deal we had to keep the werewolves at least in West Salem. But he told me recently not to be in West Salem during the full moons. And when I asked him about it, he said that somebody, I forget her name, but somebody had died recently, and that whatever deals were made are kind of null and void now.
I glanced meaningfully over at Erickson.
Yeah. And so you're going to be you're going to be laying low here then for the next 2 weeks then, Tulip?
No, I unfortunately have to continue having my services available to people. It comes with being a harpy. So it's me and the other whips are the only ones that are kind of allowed to continue with business as usual because we have to get news out to the people. We have to make sure that if somebody has something that needs to get out to somebody, that it does in a timely manner.
Okay. Can you do me a favor and give Ashlyn a message for me then?
Sure. Yeah. What do you want me to say?
I want to get access into the theater, and if that means having her, if any means necessary, if any way that I can get in there officially, I would love that. But if not, I would at least want to get a heads up on the easiest way to enter that place without so much of, what's the word I'm looking for, ruckus. And also, I promise we won't set anything on fire. Scout's honor.
She immediately looks over at Andreas when you say that.
Yeah.
I was never a scout, but yeah.
Wait, I think it's like this. I think it's the 3 fingers, or is it? Yeah, 3.
I don't know. Who knows?
I think it's,
I think it's like this.
I think it's like that.
Yeah, I think
it's those 3 fingers for sure.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
She nods. She writes it down. Okay. Where are you going to be staying since the bar was lit on fire?
That is a great question. I look over at Andreas like, yeah, that's a great question.
Well, you can crash with us mobile until you find someplace a little more stable, but at the very least, you'll be under guard.
I would imagine you would just need to find us in this mobile armorcade that Andreas has. So
just reach out to the free souls then to get a hold of either one of you.
That would be the best. We don't stick in a fixed location anyway, so there's no particular place to look.
Okay.
I also want to ask you a little bit about how much you know about Willow.
Willow. I mean, she's a clanmate, so I guess she's all right in that respect. But she comes from the East Coast.
When was the last time that you spoke with her? you don't mind me asking.
Maybe a week ago, give or take. No, the other day, because she wanted to talk to the sheriff about having killed Andrew Gibbons.
Right. So you don't know. So the last you heard was she was trying to find a way to kill Andrew Gibbons.
No, the last I heard, she said that she killed Andrew Gibbons, and she was gonna bring in his head.
Yeah, she did that all on her own.
Oh, I
She-
figured she would have used her chowder as well, but I don't know. I get this weird feeling about Thomas.
what weird feeling do you get?
He seems very eager to please her.
And what's wrong with that?
I just feel like it if it isn't a blood bond, it's very bad acting.
Hmm. Is there any reason that Willow wanted to kill off Andrew Gibbons that you know of?
I mean, with Andrew Gibbons dead, that means that she now is in a better position to be clan whip instead of Melvin. I mean,
I see.
it's rough because the sheriff trusts Melvin. They've been through some shit together in Chicago. Um, but Andrew has been fucking shit up for us here for so long that I think that might be just enough, maybe.
Okay.
We'll see. I mean, sheriff can't really be thinking about who's going to be the whip right now with everything going on.
Well, I want you to let the sheriff know uh, that Willow, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but Willow needed some help with some services regarding Andrew Gibbons, and let's just say that she wasn't the one that brought the demise of Andrew. So if you're looking for the answers to that, make sure to have the sheriff reach out to us as well.
Do you know who killed Andrew Gibbons?
I might. Uh, I'm looking over at Andres like, should I just say it? Because at this point, I'm just gonna blow it up.
Well, if you want to say it this much, I mean, it's not like, I mean, remember, he was already rejected by his own clan and everything, so the guy was
That's true.
outlaw.
That's true. Yeah, let's just say that I am the bull in the china shop in this situation.
She nods and she writes it down. All right, I'll make sure that he gets it then.
No problem. But with that, Tulip, it's been a pleasure seeing you again.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything else that you need me to do? Pass on or?
Hmm. I mean, not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. She gets up. She nods at each of you. She folds the chair up and she puts it back on the wall where she got it.
I put my hand out, like the handshake.
She looks at it for a moment and then kind of shakes her head. That's okay. And she goes to the door and you see that Marcus is still on the other side.
I just stare at my hand like, how dare she not?
Yeah. And you see that when the door opens that he is in the middle of like a head bob, like it's almost like he has started to accept the music that's being played.
Mm-hmm.
She pats him on the shoulder and he kind of steps aside, startled. Looks into the room, sees the two of you. That was quick. I thought you'd be in there for at least an hour or two talking about shit.
Yeah, we're not the kind of sort that like to talk too much.
Yeah. Either you drink, either you can keep it down, or
I don't think I have any particular proclivity to that.
Yeah, unless you have the eat food merit, you cannot keep liquor and food down.
I'm gonna try on it. Just fucking sip and spit.
I mean,
That does not look human. I can smoke. That's about it. If I'm doing regular bar business, or just trying to make my breath steam in the cold, but
Yeah.
no food.
Yeah, all right. Just I thought I'd offer since this is my bar. I figured I'm about to extend some hospitality your way.
Appreciate it, but we dined earlier.
yeah, we're good for now. However, if the urge arises, I'll be happy to reach out to you, Marcus.
He nods and he leads you back outside, you know, again gently pushing his way through the crowd.
But this time I deviate to the dad that's selling the merch.
Okay. And for a fact, you see on the table there's red shirts, blue shirts, and green shirts of just the same anthropomorphic piece of bacon.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Pops, how much are each shirt cost?
$15.
How many shirts are there?
There's probably like 3 dozen. There's like at
Three
least there's like a dozen of each color, and then there's like a sporadic amount of mostly there's supposed to be like a dozen of each color. It looks like the red one is the most popular one because there's only like 3 or 4 of them left, and the other ones have more than that. So imagine if they came in with 3 dozen and they've sold maybe 10.
Okay. I'm gonna grab. I think about it and I go, Andreas seems like somebody who wears blue. So I grab a red, I grab a blue, and
You gonna grab a green one for Michelle?
I don't think Michelle likes punk music. Just thinking about it, I'm like, nah, I'll give her. That's fine. But the thing is that given the amount, and I think about it, I go ahead and I pull out the 100 bill from my pocket, and I just hand it over to him. I go, look, and I grab a handful of the shirts that I believe it would be around that amount, and I toss it into the crowd of people.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. The crowd goes wild, and by association, the band notices the drummer gives you a thumbs up, and then starts to go bananas on the drums and just completely starts shifting the music. And you can see that the other guys in the band just like they stop, they hear it for a second, and then they also get into it and they start fucking. The entire bar is now a hype zone.
Sweet. And and me wearing a suit.
Yeah.
I'm like, here, take this, young kids, and then just walk away.
Youth.
Tubular.
Yeah.
And then I just walk out.
Oh my God.
You youths and your music.
I just want to know. Okay, yeah. I don't see that this would be someplace that I need to worry about. Like, I already scanned the room once, so I'm not going to worry about it. So, heading back out.
You walk out. Marcus immediately pulls out a cigarette from his pack of Marlboro Reds, lights it up. Y'all good to go? So, you want to hang out for a bit?
Well, I wanted to ask you, Marcus, what is your line of work outside of obviously this bar?
I mean, the tower makes it really difficult for my kind to exist, so the bar is really everything that I have. And then he looks over, he sees that the people on the other side of the door aren't paying attention to your conversation, and then he kind of lowers his voice and he's like, I also have this thing where I have the connections and the friends that have made it easy for me to bring in illicit substances, you know, drugs and whatnot.
Just run-of-the-mill drugs?
Yeah, you know, pills, weed, mushrooms. I can get some peyote if you really want it. trying to get some
Kind of thinking. I was kind of thinking more
ayahuasca.
exotic stuff. I was kind of thinking something more a little bit exotic, like maybe blood rose.
Oh no, that's not. You want Tremere for that? Like
Mm-hmm.
I thought you meant like something from the hospital. I was like, I
Mm.
might have a nurse friend that I still have access to, but I haven't talked to her in a while. And you know how bitches get; they get fickle.
Well, how about this? I start describing the cube that we saw when we were downstairs in
Mm,
the basement,
okay. Um.
because that cube that they use that they
Yeah.
actually ingested, placed into their chest.
Mhm.
He listens to your description, and he just like even with my alchemy, like that's shit that I've never seen.
I hear the word alchemy,
Yeah.
so now because Erickson again does not is new to this world of alchemy of mages and stuff like that. So um,
Yeah, you're an undead creature, but you're new to the occult.
Yeah.
correct. So I'm new to the occult. In fact, I have, if I look at my sheet I think gives me how many of occult? 0. So I know nothing.
Nothing.
So I know nothing. So I want to know something about this. So
Sure.
this is a perfect. So so let me ask you this: uh, obtaining something like that, and from what I described to you,
Hmm.
uh, that obviously is something that's very powerful in your circle of people. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, that sounds more like blood sorcery. Like you need a full Tremere for that. And
Mm.
as much as I've tried and begged, none of them want to give me a taste of their blood. So it's been rather difficult picking that up.
Mm-hmm.
So I've from what I've seen, I've been able to kind of fake some of their abilities, but yeah, it requires work on my end.
Is there anybody that you know that in your circles? Obviously, there's got to be somebody that has been coming up in the radar regarding something like this.
I mean, I wish I could tell you that there were others of my kind in the city, but I'm surprised that they let me even keep my chowder. So
Mm.
right now, there's only two of us in the city,
You and who else?
and my chowder.
And your childer. What's the name of your childer?
Uh, her name,
Her. Okay. Because I'm trying to think of the guy. And see, I was like, okay, it's not a dude. All
no,
right.
her name is Lillian Buchanan.
Lillian Buchanan. Okay.
Yeah, we had some notes about her the other
Mm. All right. What time is it right now?
At this point, it's close to 1.
Okay. Starting. I look over at Andreas like, man, this is starting to sound like I'm trying. Like I think we're running into a brick wall at this moment.
Yeah. Maybe we should go check out Manny and see what's going on with the Blue Pine situation lately. I've been a bit on edge. Yeah, speaking of which, Will, if I can
Hmm.
get a quick glance back in the club, my little Nazi punk friend earlier, is he still around?
Oh yeah, and he's chatting up some chick.
Okay, well,
Do I notice that he's looking back and trying to focus on something?
Give me a wits and awareness roll.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Secret. Secret.
And your hunger's back down to 1.
Yeah, my
there
hunger
you
die is a
go.
5.
Okay.
So I got 8, 9, 5, 3, and 2. So 2
2
successes.
successes. Yeah,
Jesus.
it's not difficult to see him kind of look back into the club once the conversation starts to peter out. What he's looking
Mm.
for, though, you can't really tell. You just know that
Right.
he's turned his attention back into the club.
So what's catching your eye in there, sir?
Well, just a little on edge. Let's see, between the SWAT team without police colors coming after us, releasing whatever the fuck that fucking werewolf thing is, reminding me of my old days from World War II, and I'm just looking over my shoulder at everybody because the shit we dealt with back then. I mean, the lupines are no joke. They can even be right up on you before you realize, and they attack you. And so a crowd like this gets me a little bit on edge.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can understand your I can understand your skittishness on this.
And, and just that asshole in particular caught my attention, but I can't be sure, and it's not worth pursuing because he doesn't seem to be paying any attention to us.
And when obviously you say that, and I'm looking over, and I try.
He points out this kid who's maybe like 5'10", 5'9", spiky blonde hair, just has this red shirt that you can see the sleeves kind of coming out of a denim jacket that has the sleeves cut and torn, but one of the sleeves is ripped off right where the bottom of an SS patch is. Old Nazi patch. He's got blue jeans, kind of thick, like lumberjack boots. He just has one boot up on the railing of the bar, and he has one hand on the back of one bar stool as he's talking to this girl who's maybe auburn haired, 5'6", cute, but is definitely enamored with more of the idea of being with who this person is and than what he stands for.
Right.
Yeah. And so I gesture towards the tattoo sticking out from under his sleeve, pull my own wristband aside to show the brand number on the side of there, and just be like, for obvious reasons, these things make me nervous.
So, yeah, I with such seriousness, I look over at Andres. I go, so we're just gonna let this slide then.
I don't think he's hunting here for us, so I don't feel like I want to kick this particular hornet's nest.
Is Marcus still outside?
Yeah.
I want to walk up to Marcus.
Yeah.
And uh, just in the same tone, same volume as we were talking about before, so that it's more of a hush tone between us two.
Sure.
Unless if Andreas is gonna meet up, he can. Hey, can you do me a favor? That asshole, and I point him out. Uh, let me know. oh, Let me know if he happens to stay here the whole night, or if he happens to leave the moment we're gone. See, anything suspicious really is what I'm trying to look at.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Simple enough.
Appreciate it. If he happens, no, that's it. If anything, Marcus, I imagine if I call the Albatross, I'll be able to pick you up I'll be able to reach you at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't overthink it. We're good.
I
I'm not letting this go.
Yeah. I have weird hours, but
Mhm.
I'm usually up until like maybe 9 or 10 in the morning, then I go to sleep. So
Well, funny enough, we'll be asleep before then. So
he nods. He's like, "Yeah, I know. You
you use
yeah, you don't share the same curse I do. It's fine."
a nod and looking back at Andres, and I'm like, all right, we ride. Let's go. Um, I know that not Andrew Gibbons, forgive me, Manny Garza. I
Manny
know
Garza.
Senor Garza.
Yep.
I'm trying to recall where we would find him.
He's got
Notes,
a few places.
notes. I know we saw him at the horn section. I know that I mean, what do you think is the best spot to look for this gentleman?
Especially considering we probably shouldn't be using phones.
Yep.
You asking Marcus?
Yeah, I'm asking Andreas.
Hmm.
Like I walked away from Marcus and I'm asking
Okay.
Andreas.
Gotcha.
Because at this time it's Manny Garza is considering that his possible connection with what happened to Guernsey could be vital in what's going on. I kind of would want to find out more information from him, or at least try to find him and speak with him for a little bit.
Sure.
You know, as Bruja does.
Yeah, just find a Nosferatu and then just anger the fuck out of him.
Yeah, why not?
You
Why not?
are
What's the worst that could happen?
you do know that because he's part of Otis's group that before Hyde took over as prince, they had domain in Salem town, which is northwest Salem, at the bar called the Red Eye Lounge.
Correct, the Red Eye Lounge, and they also have that storage facility
And they have
place.
Gunther's storage facility in southwest Salem.
Let's try the Red Eye Lounge first.
That's actually a good call because I don't think they'll be at the storage at this time at 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah,
unless
who the fuck wants to be stuck there in the middle of the fucking night?
they're doing something.
In which
Which
case,
we'll find.
in that case, they don't want our fucking company. So
Yeah, so to the Red Eye Lounge we go.
Sure. And that takes you about 35 minutes to get over there.
okay, so it's now between 1:30 and 2 in the morning now.
Yeah. Excuse me. And you get there and you notice that the parking lot is empty except for like 3 cars.
Any cars we recognize?
It would be a hard intelligence and awareness roll if you want to try to remember any of these cars.
Yeah, let's do that.
But you could.
Old mentalist Bruja shit.
Let me see. It's hard. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't. Intelligence 2, awareness 3, so.
Yeah, so I got a 1 on the hunger die.
Oh.
A 9, an 8, and a 7.
Oh man.
I actually might have pulled it off.
So how many total successes?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Yeah.
Yeah, because when it comes to a car, I can figure that out.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. So you remember seeing one of the cars. One of the black cars is definitely Otis's car. You remember Manny usually is the one that drives it, and Otis is usually in the back seat. Very reverse driving Miss Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you notice that the open sign is not on. There looks to be police tape on the outside of the door. And otherwise,
does the place look wrecked or
not at all? Not on the outside, at least.
Okay. But however, we do see Otis's car that normally Manny Garza drives is there with police tape in front.
Yeah. There's 3. Like I said, there's 3 cars total. They're not parked next to each other. They're kind of sporadic.
Any windows we can see into the place?
No, they're all frosted black.
God damn it.
The sign for the bar is still on, like the big neon sign that you can see from like 2 blocks, 3 blocks down. Is still on. The outside lights are on. It's just the open sign is off.
Right. As far as the alleyway, there's an alleyway behind the bar, correct?
The bar is on a standalone lot. Like it's just a bar on the block.
It's not an alley, it's a wall.
It's not an alley, it's a wall. So in other words, we can't tell from from the front that there would actually be an area to go behind to the back.
Oh, there's nothing but area to all the sides.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and actually I look over at Andres and be like, hey, why don't you do your amazing disappearing act and find out what we can get from see if we can try to get inside from in the back of this place.
Why don't we just ask him?
I look over
I disappear.
and then I look back. I'm like,
So
okay.
make your rouse check.
Mm-hmm. That's just the one die.
One die.
Do not die. One die. 7.
Okay. So you do become invisible without raising your hunger level, without tempting the beast out. And as soon as he turns back around, you're pretty sure that you're engulfed in shadow. So you just take a moment to sit there for a moment, turn on your silence of death, and then you just start to, without noiselessly make your way around. In the back of the club, you can see that there's a back door. There's another set of kind of parking, and you can just see that 3 of them have the rebar kind of sticking out and a sign. One of them says reserved for management. The other one says reserved for head bartender, and the last one says reserved for bartender. All 3 of them are empty. There's 2 sets of windows back here that aren't frosted, but they also lead into a bathroom. One leads into the ladies' bathroom, one leads into the men's bathroom.
So they taking a cursory glance just to say I looked in there, but
yeah, now they're both empty.
Yeah, I was like, no motherfuckers with a gun. I'm like, all right, good. Yeah. Everything's got us on edge these days.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, let's go on and slip in.
You can try to go in through the bathroom window.
Are they big enough?
For you, yeah.
Nah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go check the back door.
Well, you slowly pull on the handle, and you feel it give you resistance. It's locked.
Okay. Then let's check the window. If I got to break it or something like that, we'll skip that for the moment. But if I can slip that open and get inside, great.
Yeah, you reach up, you kind of jostle the windows a little bit, and you do see that the ladies' window slides open.
Okay. Give a quick listen. Sound like anybody's in a stall or anything?
No, it doesn't sound like anybody's in there at all.
All right, then I look back at Erickson. Just you coming with, or should I just open the door for you?
Easy. Remember, you left him because you're invisible.
Right. That's true. He doesn't know where the fuck I am right now.
No,
I am right now just standing there like a jackass. Just all right, cool. Cool.
Yeah,
if he's back. Well, if he went back there, he'll see a bathroom window. He'll see the bathroom window slide open.
Yeah. To Erickson's point of view, it was like you told him, "Hey, why don't you ask that guy?" He turned around to see what you were pointing at, and the second he turned back around, you were gone.
Actually, you know what? It would make sense for me if I told him to go to the back, that I would start walking that way. But yeah, because I wouldn't. Well, actually, you know what? While he's doing that, I want to actually see if I can look through the front door, if there's any way that I can see through it.
Yeah, besides, I'll leave the bathroom window open. It'll be pretty clear where I went if he does go back there.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I get to be up to my mischief.
Yep. And as Erickson goes up to the front door, you turn the knob, and it turns all the way. And you hear the familiar click of the door opening. You push inward past the tape, and you immediately hear some chairs pull out of like they scrape against the floor, and you see the familiar faces of Otis's coterie. It's Otis, it's Manny, it's Dimitri, and it's John Coulson.
Okay. And after I see that, I just politely remove the tape out of my way, and I close the door as I found it. Straighten my shirt. I go, Otis, it's a pleasure seeing you here. Thought it was gonna be a little more lively.
Yeah, about that. And you see the place looks like it's seen war. Tables are broken, chairs are broken. There is a mechanical bull that is sticking out of one of the walls. There is a crater that looks to have been made by somebody's body. And part of the catwalk looks to have been destroyed and pulled down. Manny immediately steps forward and he's just like, hey, baby, why don't we go outside and we can talk about this like gentlemen, okay? There's no need to interrupt the meeting.
Oh, my apologies. I was just admiring what you guys have done to the place. I didn't realize you were having a meeting.
Yeah, it's real big, big number stuff, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And he motions to the door.
By all means, you first, sir.
Hey, no funny business. And you see him shake his ass at you as he opens the door.
Oh, trust me, I don't have another arm from a SWAT member to feed you. So
It's okay, man. And as he steps out, you see some of the shadows that are following him. They spread, and you see these 3 tentacles of just pure shadow kind of crawl up and sit next to him. I got new arms too, so don't worry. It's okay.
okay. I want to stop that. Have I seen this? It feels like I've seen this before.
No,
In an interaction with another person, with Sam and another person.
Oh, yes. Yes. It was when Sam was talking to Elizabeth Guernsey.
Yeah, that's good to know. That all of a sudden Erickson's like, shit. Okay.
Yeah, but
All right.
yeah, you step outside with him, and
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I put myself in this one, so here we go.
yeah. Uh, Andreas has. If you could make, let's say, it's gonna be a dexterity and athletics check.
For me? Okay.
Yeah. To squeeze through, finagle your way into the window, and not make any noise when you come in.
Being the key. Okay, 3 on the hunger die, 6, 8, 7, and 2 on the last one.
Okay. Easy enough to squeeze through. It helps that you don't have to breathe, so you don't have to worry about your chest kind of pulsing in and out. And as you land and you start to make your way out into the club itself, you hear the tail end of the conversation where Manny's like, hey, it's okay. We'll just take it outside. You know, there's no need to interrupt the meeting about numbers and things like that.
All right, well, since I'm actually here to see Manny and really not piss off Otis and his coterie, I'll quickly and quietly follow those 2 outside.
Okay. The second you come out of the hallway and into the main room, you see John Coulson kind of look in your direction, raise an eyebrow, and then as he sees, he just follows you until you go out the door with Manny and Erickson.
Well, if he knows that I'm there, if he can see me a little bit, just kind of give a sheepish shrug and just, like I said, follow the boys.
Yeah. But you climb out the door right as it's about to close on Erickson, and you see that Manny is now sporting 3 shadow tentacles. And he's using them like you would expect Manny Garza to do. Like one of them is holding the Ziploc bag of organs. Another one is finely wrapped around a spork, and it just kind of dives into the bag and is like feeding him.
Yeah. Like if Doc Ock was lazy, pretty
Yes.
much is what's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on here.
Oh yeah. That's who Manny is.
Well, yeah.
I'll drift off the obfuscate off. Well, that's mildly horrifying.
Yeah. And he looks at you like, hey, the whole party's here. Okay, good.
So where'd you get the new arms there, Manny?
Oh, I made a friend and she gave me some of her blood and now I got arms.
Okay.
Good trade.
Good trade. This wouldn't happen to be Elizabeth Guernsey, would it?
Hey, who's that?
I want to go ahead and see if he's lying to me right now. This fucking guy.
Oh man, that's gonna be a wits and insight roll for you. Damn, you actually have a good dice pool for this. I don't think Manny's a liar.
Wits and insight. Wits and insight. Ooh, yeah, you're right. 6. I like it.
You see, how good is Manny's deception? Oh, non-existent. Good to know.
So yeah, I got 8 on the hunger. 7, 9, 5, 4, and 1. So that would be 3 successes.
3 successes. I have had to rouse to increase my dice pool.
Well, I also wanted to use willpower at this point.
Oh, you wanna?
Yeah, no, I want to know.
All right. So if you're gonna take a superficial point of willpower damage, that's gonna allow you to reroll any 3 dice, not your hunger dice.
Okay,
up to 3 dice. So
in other words, I'll just roll the 3 that I did not succeed in.
okay.
I got a 9, a 5, and a 2, so it gave me 1 more.
Okay.
So 4 successes.
4 beats the 3 that I had rolled. So I almost got away with it if it wasn't for you crazy kids and your stupid dog.
Yeah, and that willpower, baby.
So he is straight up lying to you.
Oh, of course he is. But me knowing that he's lying to me does not necessarily mean I have to tell him at this moment.
Correct.
All right, Manny. I mean, that's a really nice friend of yours that happened to give that to you, because that's, I mean, I can only imagine that's pretty powerful, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you make deals with people. That's how you make friends. Yeah, you want something I have, I want something you have, and it's we just come to a compromise,
No, I completely understand, and
like
since your friend is
you two haven't come to a compromise because he became invisible, but you haven't become invisible, so you guys haven't come to terms.
Oh, I mean, we all have our talents, right, Manny? And I smack him on the shoulder, away from the shadows.
You see the one free tentacle kind of brush up against where you touched him, and he just kind of like dusts himself off.
Of course, he would do that. So You know, Manny, if you're not, if you're not selfish there, I wouldn't mind wanting to meet your friend and see about making a compromise of my own.
Oh, you know, I would love nothing more than to facilitate this interaction between the two of you, but she left town, man. She gone.
Oh, so she left town.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she's somewhere else now.
Yeah. And I say under my breath, probably 6 feet under. So, Manny, how long have you had these powers then?
Oh, couple days maybe.
Couple days. Uh, and I glance over at Andreas, and I'm trying to give him the look like no. Excuse me. Give him the. I'm trying to give him at some point similar to what we did with the gun when we tried to mess up the gun that we handed over to this guy. I want to try to give him a look like as though that Manny's lying straight through his teeth. I'm trying to see if he can pick up that social cue for me.
Let's see.
I don't know. Do I pick up that social cue?
Let's do wits and insight for Andreas. It's not a terrible fucking dice pool.
I mean, wits is always my thing, but
Yeah.
said wits insight right now. Okay. Let's go. Wait, I only have 100.
Yeah, only having one hunger really helps.
Yes, it does. Okay, 10 on the hunger die, and then a whole lot of 5, 9. Okay, like one other success. I got 5, 9, 2, and 4.
Okay, so 2 successes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not terribly difficult. I don't think Erickson is as suave as he thinks he is with
Probably not at all.
social cues. So I imagine there's a lot of like eyebrow wiggle, darting over at Manny, darting then you back to Manny, eyebrow wiggle again. Very kind of like third base coach in baseball. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I'm mildly confused because I'm not sure why we're policing him on where he got his powers from. But
Wait, you don't remember the conversation that we had? Oh, that's right, because I didn't tell him that I know about Elizabeth Guernsey. Yeah.
yeah, that bit. So
Yeah.
I don't even know. I went to see Manny about something else entirely. So I'm just letting you handle your business first.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to cut this short then, because you obviously don't know. Since I realized after doing that, he's looking at me with this weird face, like,
yeah.
okay. And I'm just like,
I'm like, are you? I was like, are we the obtenebration police? Because I didn't get a badge yet.
yeah.
I got a gun, but no badge.
Yep.
I look over at Andres. I'm like, you go ahead, sir. I just need a moment because at this, I just need a moment to not blow myself up. So I'm gonna step back
And
from Manny.
you see Manny have the tentacle with the Ziploc bag and the tentacle with the spork just dig in and just kind of he offers you one of the pieces of what must be somebody's lung. He's like, hey, it's okay. You want some lung? It's fresh.
No, I'm good. I like it creamy, not chunky.
Okay.
So I was having a conversation with Tulip earlier, and she said
Oh,
that
how is
previous,
she? She
yeah,
good people.
she's fantastic. Having a drink last I saw,
Oh,
but
good.
she brought something up that recently you had been basically you've been handling all the deals or as close to we had to a deal or treaty with the local lupines. But she said that fell through recently. What could due to a death? What happened?
Yeah, man. She got bad. She got sour, and it's just one of those things that you get no control over. You know, it happens, and then you just sit there and you gotta deal with it. But you know, I had a friend, and something happened, and now the other friend that I had he just he's a stick in the mud, man, and he doesn't have the same kind of relationship that I had with this other girl, and now it's been fucked. But I'm trying to make things as they were, because it's important not to get chased by fucking werewolves every fucking 10 days or whatever the fucking
Absolutely.
full moon happens.
Considering the way my boys move in and out of town, yeah, this is just something I'm checking on a general concern, because I mean, we're not only all over town, we're just through the forests in and out of it. And if I'm going to keep my courier business running smoothly, I'm just trying to figure out what the local lupine situation's like. But you don't know what happened involving that death, or
No, it was out in the woods where we don't go, and I don't go. So the thing is that the guy who talks to me now, Linus, he's really white, and he doesn't like anything that isn't white either. So he's kind of racist.
Have you ever
Kind of racist.
Have you ever met this guy, Manny, face to face?
Oh yeah. We give him free drinks because we're very nice to him. But clearly, because John Coulson is somewhat Asian, because Dmitry Korchagin is somewhat Russian, and because Otis is black, and I am clearly the most handsome of the group, but I am Cuban. He has a stick up his ass about the group,
Okay. I rattle off a quick description of the guy I saw earlier at the last bar. Does that sound like the gentleman we're talking about?
No, that just sounds like some asshole.
Just check.
I described the. No, never mind. No, that wouldn't be it. So.
No, Linus is an older cat. He's like maybe in his 30s.
Mm-hmm. And he's not very fond of any other race than white, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he's he's an asshole. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
It's creamy white supreme.
Yeah, I tried to be nice, but things happen.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta hit him in the face.
Yeah.
Oh, and so he comes around the bar frequently. Do you know where he hangs out?
I mean, he comes here once a month to check in and get his free drink, and then he takes off again. I mean, he can't be hard to miss. He's got one arm, so it's like, how many one-armed people do you know? Because I know one, and it's fucking Linus.
I start walking back towards him again, and you heard? Have you heard about the fact that the last call and a couple other places got set on fire?
No, man. You okay? Did anything happen to you?
I'm perfectly fine. Thanks to some friends of mine. Andreas and myself are safe. We found out that this could be connected with the fact that Elizabeth Guernsey is dead.
Elizabeth Guernsey's dead?
And oh my God, I'm holding back everything in me. Holding back everything in me to not just lunge at this guy, because I know. Yeah. You're about as surprised as I was when I found that out.
Oh man, that's terrible news. Wish I could help you. But we haven't seen her. We got attacked yesterday, and we kind of have been figuring out what to do about that. So,
you know who attacked you?
I mean, doesn't matter because they're dead. Because that's what happens when you attack fucking oldest king's coterie.
Oh my God, Erickson! Like right now, I'm letting you guys know Erickson is teetering over whether or not I should put my hand out and rip his arm off. I'm very yeah.
Take it somebody you were emotionally attached to.
Well, yeah. So okay, so what do you know? Obviously, we just happen to be around this area. We wanted to find information from you, Manny, but I take it you don't need any help here from us, do you?
No, not really, man. We got it under control here, and it's just it is what it is. You know, it's ever since this new fuck face of a prince took over, it's been rough, but we get it what we do.
Hmm. All right. You guys wouldn't have heard anything about groups of what sound like SWAT teams coming through this area. I don't know if you heard rumors of that.
No, this is Salem town, baby. All we have is a sheriff's department with like 3 guys on the force.
So you never heard of anything that with regards to uh armed civilians or armed mortals in vans.
No, not out here. No.
Hmm. Okay. You know, I was gonna ask you, when was the last time you went out to that theater down there?
The Elysium?
No, well, the theater that Elizabeth Guernsey was a part of.
Well, I don't know. I never been. I didn't know she was part of a theater. Is it like a movie theater or like a stage place? Like
Um,
she putting on like Willy Wonka's or Peter Pan's?
You're a funny guy, Mart. You're a funny guy, Manny. I'll give you that. You're a funny guy.
Like, this is the
I'm.
most vicious line of indirect questioning.
I know. Trying to get as much information without saying too much information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I'm direct, this is gonna go real south real quick.
But yeah, he just kind of picks up the last piece of organ from his Ziploc bag. The tentacle stretches out to where the outside garbage can is and just kind of dumps it. Puts the thing in his mouth, cleans off the spork with his tongue, and then puts it in his pocket.
You know. You know what, Manny? Funny enough, I see you with these tentacles. It seems as though they're just you've had this for so long by your lonesome. The last time I saw somebody use that was actually Elizabeth Guernsey.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh man. That's a good thing she's dead then.
Hmm. Why do you say that?
Because I mean the only other person that I saw with tentacles was Albert Frost, and he's dead too. So vaya con Dios, you know. They're in a better place right now.
No, we're gonna die. I'm gonna hold in. I'm gonna hold in. We're gonna die. I'm gonna hold in because it's not only just him. It's the fact that he's got Otis and got 2 other fucking guys inside. So I'm just gonna hold back. I'm gonna say,
You can set the
uh,
building on fire for you if you want.
that's actually. I'm surprised that you haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not smoking right now.
3 whole sessions with no burning buildings. It's a new record.
I'm just
Well,
I'm trying to keep changes of scenery in there.
Okay.
I'm a Ravnos exercising caution. That's already against the grain.
Yeah. But yeah, he smiles. Hey, if you guys need a place to stay, you let me know, okay? We got plenty of space.
Appreciate
I'll
it.
keep that
We'll
in
be
mind.
He makes his way back inside the bar.
All right. As he closes the door, I want to be able to. I look over at Andres now and I say, I hope you got the gist of what I was trying to say without saying it. But if not,
Yeah,
please let me know.
I was about to ask you what the fuck that was all about.
Remember what Tulip said about Elizabeth Guernsey dying?
Uh-huh.
Okay. The only person I've ever seen use something like that besides Albert Frost is Elizabeth Guernsey, and now all of a sudden Manny Garza has it.
Okay.
Those shadow tentacles. He's lying through his teeth when he said that he hasn't run into her, and I believe he's the one that killed her, which caused all of this to start.
Okay. Well, that explains why they're chomping at his heels like that.
Yeah, without actually coming out and saying it, you know.
Well, what do you care to do about it? I mean,
I
are we about to start firing up a place, or are you just going to sit on this information for now? Because I know sometimes a brouhaha thing, but you don't have to react to everything immediately.
Oh, I mean, how often do you? And I look at him. I look at Andres. I'm like, how often do I react to it? How often? Okay, way too often. But still, I should. Okay, okay. I mean, I'm not going to be opposed if you want to light this place on fire. I get it. But if you don't
All
want to do it, then we can try to reconvene somewhere else.
all I'm saying is that revenge plans tend to be way more effective when you're at a cooler head about it. So,
Yeah. But at least we know where he is. So
and you have and now if your suspicions are true, you know who the murderer is, and we can plan accordingly.
yeah. What I do want to find out is more about this person that Manny and Otis that his coterie has been dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is he doesn't know much. And I imagine if we try to re-enter that place right now, it'll probably be a different scenario when we try to talk to these guys.
No. Colson even saw me when I was creeping through the place.
Oh, okay, so he knows we're already fucking around. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
That's why I rejoined your conversation so quickly.
Okay. Well, the only thing I can think of now, man.
I mean, probably get a hold of some of my contacts for just seeing if there was any like large arms shipments or any like purchases made lately. Like, as far as the small private army of fake police,
Mhm.
but everything else, I'm hitting a wall. I'm looking over my shoulder for werewolves right now. Full moon's
Is
going to be in a couple of weeks, and I have a feeling we're going to want to be in West Salem, and that could be the Ravnos blood talking because it's probably a bad idea.
Let me find out. There's a payphone. There's a payphone close by here.
Yeah, on the corner of the street, there's a payphone.
It's the 1980s; they're on every corner.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go. I'm just gesturing over to the payphone. So I'm gonna walk over there and give Mickey Blue Eyes a call.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'll hit up another payphone nearby and see if I can just start putting out the feelers for about the arms purchases and whatnot.
Okay.
Yep.
And as both of you check in with your contacts, trying to figure out what's going to happen and what your next move should be, I think this is a good point to call it for tonight. So I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. As always, thank you. If you're interested in the other stories that I run, Tuesdays are an alternating day of Werewolf the Wild West with Legend of the Five Rings. Tomorrow, we will be having our second chapter of our Werewolf the Wild West game, where we'll be introducing ourselves to the theurge of the pack. And this Friday, And every Friday, I alternate between a Star Wars The West End Games version, because that is a superior version of the game, and a new Dungeons and Dragons game called In the Eye of the Storm, which I think you'll recognize one of the players that was in the game tonight there, if you tune in. Otherwise, Mondays are for my Vampire the Masquerade game, where we tell a dual story of an Anarch and Camarilla storyline in the same city, set in Salem, Oregon, 1984. And if not, then I will see you where I see you. But please continue to wash your hands, continue to keep your distance, continue to wear your masks in public. And if you are of age and you can get the vaccine, please get yourselves vaccinated. We're still not out of the woods yet. As always, we take mental health very seriously here on the channel. And if you're watching live, there are phone numbers going up in the Twitch chat to help you find the resources to help you, because if nobody's told you, it is okay to not be okay. And if you are not in the United States and you need to find resources to help you, there's a link going up in the chat right now to help you get those resources. Please check in on each other, take care of yourselves. If you're a friend of a happy-go-lucky character or somebody who's usually a strong personality, please check in on them, because you never know how simple hello, how are you can change the trajectory of somebody's life. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you when I see you. Have a good night.